Hello, everybody. How are you all tonight? We'll see who shows up. We're going to chat tonight. I had a request to have a chat so we can talk about things and how things work and how they are. And so we will see what kind of questions you guys come up with. How is everybody surviving this full moon eclipse? Interesting things happening over the weekend. Lots of people showing their true colors. So we will see if anybody shows up tonight. Hi, you made it. That was quick. So how's it going tonight? I went in and looked at your channel, girl. How come you're not doing more with your channel? You're excited. Ask away, girl. We'll talk about anything you want. So how are you feeling with this full moon eclipse? Yeah. Why do you hide him, girl? How do you get the word out there then? So I posted on my Facebook something this morning. It said, with this full moon eclipse, what was going to be showing up was people showing their true colors, their hidden agendas and everything. And boy, I had that show up big time on the camping trip we went on over the weekend. It's like, whoa, how did I let this slip under? It was like this weekend. It's like, how did I let that person slip in under my radar? Hey, Robin, it's like I had a narcissistic relationship back in the 80s, 70s and 80s. And then I thought I had learned and cleared all this energy. And then it's like it all popped up. This person slipped under my radar. It's like, what the heck? So ask questions, girl. We're here to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Robin's an expert too. She's joined us. Robin is the one. No, they haven't come back, but so a situation, a behavior from the past is what came back. Robin is the one that's going to do the Dark Side of the Light Chasers class with me. Oh, now it's popping up saying I'm live. Isn't that funny? Oh, this stupid computer. Won't let me. Did you bought the Dark Side of the Light Chasers? Yeah. So, and it was kind of interesting. Yeah, don't we all, girl? It's not just you, so we can try a clearing statement. So everywhere we all attract relationships that are unemotionally available to us, will we destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion and everything attached to that? And then you say right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. That's a clearing statement. And also you can use that little healing technique. I don't know if you were on when I showed that. You feel that little ball of energy in your aura. You put in I keep attracting unemotionally available men in there, and then you bring your hands back and forth until it neutralizes. You'll know. Can you write that? Okay. Yeah, I can. So everywhere. Unemotional men. Okay, so everywhere we attract unemotional men, we will destroy and uncreate that times a godzillion and right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nines. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nines, shorts, boys, and beyond. And you could look that up. It's the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. See if that helps. and yeah, and another good tool is, who does it belong to? So you're thinking something and you're worrying about something, especially something you're worried about, okay? So you could ask, who does this belong to? Does it belong to somebody else? If you get a yes, send it back to them with love and consciousness. If it's yours, ask what percentage of it is yours and send the rest back to whoever it came from without love and with love and consciousness. If it's something else, you want to send it through the violet flame into something healing and send it into the earth to heal the Mother Earth. How's it going, Robin? You know what? Awesome, Robin. Awesome, Robin. Okay, so she put in there, what is it in me that is creating this situation that I need to be aware of, and everything that doesn't allow me to see that, to know, be, and realize that, I will destroy and uncreate all that and everything attached to that times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine sorts, points, and bounds. Okay. So pay attention to what your first reaction is. When you ask a question of somebody, or you ask yourself a question, the first thing that pops into your head is what's true. Past that, we overanalyze everything. So the first thing that pops in your head after you ask that is what is the true answer. Because once that mind engages in there, it's going to try to tell us something else. How many times has somebody asked you a question and something popped in your head, and then you thought about it for a second, and then you changed what you were going to say? Yes, but you're setting a healthy boundary on a spiritual level, because we are very telepathic. So we're going to be picking up other people's thoughts and feelings. And by you're setting healthy boundaries by setting back everybody else's stuff, because we have a tendency to do that. And people are not going to deal with their own karma if you keep carrying their karma for them, which is what their thoughts and feelings are that as an empath you are picking up on. Today's definitely been a better day, Robin. Poor Robin had to listen to me vent when I got back from my camping trip. Did you see the two posts on yeah, did you see the two posts on Facebook on this full moon eclipse was bringing out people's true colors and their true intentions and stuff? I said, oh my gosh. And I posted that, and Amanda jumped in and says, oh yeah, I'm going through that too. And then a couple other people popped in, but then there's another one too on there that is also talking about exactly what this is putting us through. And boy, it's hitting on the nose this time. Everybody had stuff pop up. I had two people kicked out of my life this weekend. What? One of them I know is a narcissist. The other one is just a little egotistical. So, and it's like, how did I let this empath crawl in under my skin? But then if you think about it, what a narcissist does is they crawl in under all our barriers very slowly so that we don't even realize what they're doing to undermine us. Okay, so again, you feel like you ruined things with this guy. Try the hand technique for one thing. I know. And it's kind of funny because somebody told me if I was going to work on doing classes and stuff to start getting it started by the 17th. And I looked at the calendar just before I came on. I said, oh gosh, this is the 17th. And I think maybe that both their energy was holding me back. So Taddy, ask the universe, what else is possible here? What else is possible what else is possible between this guy and I? Okay, so Robin can probably Robin kind of did what I did. She kind of, I think she did it. I think it was Robin. Okay, so what I did was I went in and cut cords with all the Riveras in my family. That was my ex-husband, his family, my children, everything. And I asked for my children to reattach. Okay, I asked anybody in the Riveras that was going to reattach to come back in a loving, healthy, expansive, generative, caring, blah, 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 et cetera, way. And it was interesting to see who came back first. And it was my oldest daughter. And when she came back, the energy between us was different. So I think that cutting cords occasionally when you want to change the energy between the two of you is good. But then you never know if the person's going to reattach or not. But then it probably wasn't in your higher good if they're not going to reattach anyway. Does that make sense? And I think Robin did that with a few people too. So that's probably one of the lost teachings that we've all forgot about too, What kind of classes do you want to see? Yeah, I would. And I would probably I would probably go in and cut cords with all his friends and family also. Because what my first husband was doing, I'd cut cords with him, and somebody's doing a reading for me, and they're telling me what he looks like, how he acts, and everything, and it's like, what the heck? And then they come back and they said, does somebody in his family do the dark arts? And I said, yeah, his sister. Hi, Isabella. We're having conversations on spirituality tonight. Hi, you made it, huh? Cool. How's the weather out there in Tennessee? So we're talking spirituality tonight. We're not doing any readings. We're talking spirituality. And I'm trying to find out exactly what everybody wants to learn, because I'm going to do the Akashic records are the book of life that the Bible talks about. They hold all our records of everything we've think, said, or done, any contracts we've made, any of our karma, anything. Okay. You can go in and ask questions. I haven't done it a lot, but I have somebody that, well, I have people that come in off and on, and it seems to be pretty accurate. But, you know, I was amazed because, you know, you always wonder. Yeah. So you always wonder if you're really someplace else when you're in meditation or something. And so, like, the first time I got into the Akashic records, you have to ask permission. Okay. It used to be you had to be worthy in order to get into the Akashic records. But what happened was I definitely got called. But it's open to anybody to learn how to get in there now. And nobody can go in. I just read an article on this. It says, can somebody go in and hack your Akashic records? The only one that can access your Akashic records is you or someone you give permission to. Okay. So the first time I went in there, and it's like I'm in there and I'm feeling this warm, soft energy, and I said, wow, I'm somewhere else. And I hear a voice that says, indeed you are. And I said, wow. See, that's the thing. Yeah. There's a strong connection from past lives. You can ask permission of the masters of the Akashic records to go in and amend contracts or to cancel contracts. They don't always agree, but you can ask to do it. You just ask, or find somebody that does the Akashic records. There's a lot of books out there. Linda Howe, is it Linda Howe? Let me look. She's one of the original teachers of the Akashic records. She has a book out on Amazon. Hold on, let me find it. And of course, my phone is not on the internet. Interesting. Okay. So, let me find it. Everybody has the ability to get into the Akashic records nowadays. They change things. Yeah. I think it's Linda Howe, but let me double check. Come on. Akashic records. So one of the things I want to do is, like I said, I want to do some videos on protection and grounding. Robin and I are going to do the dark side of the light chasers. And this is very, very empowering. Okay, this is what I was told about the Akashic records. Hold on, let me find the right Akashic record book. Oh, How to Read the Akashic Records, Accessing the Archive of the Soul in Its Journey by Linda Howe, Howe. And she goes in and she gives the prayer asking for permission and everything in there. And it's awesome stuff. So you don't really need to take classes and stuff. So it's the information is there. So I had a lady come in, and it's kind of funny because she was coming in for an Akashic Records reading. Okay. And for about a week before she came in, I was being shown. Okay, so my daughter's first boyfriend absolutely hated me. He hated my spirituality. He hated that I was into nutrition, and my grandkids had asthma real bad. And I tell him things, could you guys please try not wearing colognes and stuff around him? And, and I tell him foods that might have been making him sick and all this kind of stuff. He absolutely hated me. And it's kind of funny because this comes up to recently too. His mother hated me for my meditation and my spirituality. Okay. So this is the basis. So when my daughter and him separated, he started going home to the YMCA and exercising and learning about nutrition and everything. And he came home one day because the boys, my grandsons, had listened to him put me down for years about all this stuff. So he came home one day and he told the boys, your grandma's a genius. And they sat up and looked at him. They said, which grandma? And he goes, your grandma Kate. And they both started cracking up laughing because he had put me down for so many years, And his mother is now into spirituality and meditation and everything also. So karma is not, okay, so when this gal came in to get the Akashic record reading, she kept talking about karma coming back and biting this guy in the butt and that he was going to pay. And I said, and it's kind of funny because have you ever gone to take a class and you've gone through what the class is about before you even started the class? Well, that's kind of what I was doing with the Akashic records. I was being shown things that she needed to hear. The Akashic records, karma does not necessarily mean something that's going to happen to you bad. It means they're going to experience what they have judged you for. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be something harsh. Exactly right, Robin. See, Robin and I are going to start using, what's the name of it, Robin? To start doing classes. Zoom. So people can be interactive and stuff too. We just haven't figured it out yet. But see, I had to experience that. I had to envision that and everything in order to explain to her what karma actually is. It's not something that's bad. It's just lessons to learn. When you judge somebody, then you're going to experience something that's going to teach you to understand why they went through that or what happened or whatever. So, like I said, Robin and I do the dark side of the light chasers, and I just saw another book too that I think that will go so good with that. I have to see if Robin can get it, but it's what's the name of it? It's about tapping into your warrior goddess. Girl, I can teach you about the basics and help you open up. One of the things, okay, yes. Okay, for the first thing, God gave us all gifts. Okay? So if you have adequate protection, then you shouldn't be afraid. And that's the first thing. I had two people appear out of nowhere. One was in England and one was down here in Larkspur, Colorado. They both asked me to mentor them. And so they were telling me what their gifts were. You know, one was channeling, and she says it got so bad that she had to shut down her third eye. But I asked her, well, how do you do your protection? And she says, what's that? And it's like, I've been fussing about this for over a year, huh, Robin? Oh my gosh, she doesn't know how to put protection up. So it's okay. So adequate protection, adequate grounding, okay? You need to be, yes, you need to be open to receiving. The thing is, hun, that we are taught that it's better to give than it is to receive. We hear that all our lives, you know. But if we don't know how to receive, how can the universe help us? How can the universe talk to us? And this is one of the things that I teach too is, you know, when you ask the universe for something specific, okay, sometimes it's better to ask open-ended questions, okay, because God gave us free will. So with that free will comes responsibility, you know. So it's making our choices. You know, those are the things we need to look at. But the thing is, if we believe that we're not worthy, if we are afraid, if we believe that it really can't happen, or that God is judging us, or whatever, okay, so you're going to ask for something specific, but it's going to hit a block here. And it's going to say, oh, there's a belief system. I'm not worthy. Oh, there's a fear here, but here's an opening here, until it comes down to you in a watered down version, down like a staircase, because you have all these points of view that are blocking the universe from helping you. Exactly. But the thing is, the Bible says, beware of fortune tellers. But let me give you an example why. Okay. My friends were doing some healing work on this woman up in Boulder. And usually with the work that they do, it clears up in 2 sessions. They put the intent out there that we only want people that are going to come to us, that are willing to do the work to be healed, and be healed within 3 sessions, okay? She wasn't healing, and she wasn't healing. So they finally asked her a question one day, and she said, oh, I don't know. I have to call my psychic and ask her. Oh my gosh. She was given her free will away to this psychic, and the psychic was taking her free will. Who's going to, oh boy, what kind of karma are they creating, you know? So it's like they finally said, no, we can't work with you anymore because, you know, you keep giving your power away, you keep giving your free will away. So that I can understand. But then when I do readings, I look at it this way. I am telling you the energy around you. I am not predicting. I'm giving you the energy. If you don't like what I'm telling you, make a choice and change it. God gave us that free will. Use it. We have choice. No matter what religions have taught us, we have choice. Okay? And I tell them, I can give you a reading that resonates right now, but tomorrow you'll make a choice and you'll invalidate everything I just told you. I'm giving you the clarity to make decisions and choices. And yes, you put your intent out to the universe. Okay? You put your intent for healing that fast out to the universe, and the universe will respond. See, and see, if you go back and you look at the history of the church, you know, it all comes into it all comes down to control. They condemned the Druids and the midwives and the herbalists as evil, because that's back when the church was building like St. Peter's Cathedral and stuff, and they wanted you to give the money to the churches rather than okay, just because you're a tarot reader, hon, does not mean that you are not without lessons too. And this is one of the things about healers is healers are some of the most imbalanced, unhealed people they are, because you have to work on yourself first, you know? Oh, that's interesting. So what did your 100 tarot readers tell you, hon? That's interesting. I would love the results of that. See, that's what this chat is for. You know, we get information out by networking. That's what we're doing, is networking. You know, how do you go out and change the world? You change it with one person at a time. We all have past issues. We all came in to heal, but you know, you've got to, physician, heal thyself. You know, we can't help others as much as we should, yes, until we help ourselves too. Exactly. Spell work depends on intention. You know, like Becca says, do what you will, but harm none. You don't want to take away anybody else's free will. Interesting. My father was a narcissist, and he was abusive. He was not physically abusive, but he was emotionally, mentally abusive. So put your intent, you know what? Lighting a candle with a prayer on it is considered spell work. Saying a prayer is considered spell work. It's all in the perspective. To the universe, it's all the same. But your intent, okay, the intent is what matters. My mother was not around. My mother died when I was 11, and she was not assertive. She was very much hands off. I was pretty much raised myself. Okay. Neglect, abandonment, no emotional. Yeah. But then, you know, we choose our parents before we're born. We choose that. That's how we learn our lessons. If you are not here to learn anything on earth, then you are already an ascended master. And that's one of the things that I want to go in. Yeah, my mother, see, See, there's your emotion. So everywhere you have bought into how relationships should be from your mother, okay? All the points of view she had about how relationships should be, okay? Then we need, okay, so we will destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion and everything attached to that. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. So everywhere we have bought into our Father's point of view about how relationships should be, we will destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion and everything attached to that. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Hello, Naomi. So you can start, if anything that starts popping up over your mother, just say that clearing statement, right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Or you could do it as short. It comes up as just pod and poc. Naomi needs assistance with releasing a curse. Okay, I don't know. Okay, the only thing that I did, okay, I'm going to tell you what we did with me, Naomi. Okay, I told this story earlier, so I'm sorry, girls, if I'm repeating this. I had a reading done, and they told me my ex was still attached to me, and I said, when I go in and look for the cords, there's nothing there. Somebody said, does somebody in his family do the dark arts? And I said, yeah, his sister. So I went in and cut the cords with him and his whole family. Okay. So you want to cut the cords with her. Ask the archangels to come in, pull out the cords and dissolve them so they can't reattach. And see if we can clear the energy, you can also throw in you could also throw that little energy ball in there. Okay, feel that little energy ball between your hands. Put, I only attract unemotionally available people in my life, and then keep going back and forth with your hands until the energy clears on that. Because once you neutralize it, it doesn't come back. Then you're not going through the same thing over and over again. As long as there's a charge on it, then you're going to keep going through the same thing. And see, that's why I was given the clearing statement. The clearing statement also helps. The statement and the clearing statement also helps to clear the energy around it. See, I do access bars also. It clears whatever you are ready to release. We'll get to you in a minute, Naomi. Okay, you carry this energy in the subconscious mind, and you keep repeating things over and over again. With the access bars, there's 32 points on the head that correspond to different aspects of your life. And when you're ready to let go of something, it's like the brain is like a computer. And when you clear out something, when you've learned a lesson, it goes into a recycle bin. Well, what the bars do is it goes in and clears out the recycle bin and anything else that you are ready to let go of. I had a gal that I sit down and I did her cards. We were talking about financial, and I told her to sit down and write a list of how she was going to restructure her business. And she goes, "That's funny. It's all sitting right here." And then we talked about things. So I ran her bars, and she was afraid she was going to have to close down her business. Well, after I left, she received 2 unexpected checks for outstanding bills in the mail. Went home and found 2 checks. The next day, she got 2 more checks. The next day, the bank raised the credit limit on her credit card. And the next day, she had to go out and buy more sheets because she started getting so many appointments. It's like it just cleared some of these blockages. So if you can trade with somebody that does access bars in your area. Oh, honey. And it's so relaxing. Okay. So what I did to clear this spell, okay, my ex had a spell on me that I can't have you, that nobody else can. And I've been single for 19 years now. Haven't even had a date. This is terrible. It's Access Consciousness Bars. Okay. So, and you're, just remember, you are not responsible for somebody else's happiness. They are only responsible for their own happiness. You're only responsible for your own happiness. Okay. And anything anybody accuses you of, they're projecting on you, because that's who they are. And I do think that we have, okay, our belief systems and our points of view that we have learned from society and our parents and our figures of authority in our life, Robin, okay, are the ones that have put that control into our lives. If we can start clearing those points of view of other people, then you are stepping into being who you are. Okay, you said that wrong. I disagree. We do not have control in our lives. Yes. But see, you ran, how do you say that? Vago. I'm just going to call you Vago. I'm not good at this. Okay. We do have control on our lives, but we have choice. We are taught by religion that we do not have choice. Okay. So we need to clear out other people's points of view so that we can step back into our own choice. That's like I say, when I do the cards, I am telling you the energy around you. If you don't like something I'm telling you, make a choice and change it. God gave us that free will, and anybody that takes that free will, they've got some things to deal with. But see, the tower moments only happen, okay, to me, this is my point of view, okay? The tower moments happen because we have asked the universe for change in our lives. When we do not take those steps toward making the changes that we want, then the universe steps in and shakes things up. Access the consciousness bars, yes. And you could look up Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. There's an explanation on there too. We're only responsible about how we react to things. You know, that's like somebody told me this weekend, you know, they were they threw a bunch of stuff at me, and it's like, I'm thinking, what? And how is that my fault? I didn't have anything to do with it. Why are you blaming me for it, you know? So the same thing. So everywhere, Naomi, so everywhere you have a point of view that you are always in toxic relationships, will you destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion and everything attached to that? Then you say yes or no. And then it's right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I think it's awesome that you're contributing, Robin. Thank you. But that's the thing. It's an internal process. You have to change you. You have to change your points of view. You have to change the things that you have taken on in order to change other things in your life. See, this is what I'm trying to do, Robin, is how do we change the world if we don't reach out to people? But see, when you do these clearing statements, you're clearing out points of view that you have taken on in your subconscious as real to you. And by changing them, okay, by changing those points of view. Now, one thing that I have learned, though, is when you clear points of view from other people, I like to bring in this golden honey light into my body and have it fill in all those areas that you have just cleared stuff out of. It's how do you get yourself out of the situation where I'm leading a girl on? How do I get out of this situation? Communication. Oh. So I would ask see, this is one of the things that I'm talking about. When you ask the universe for something specific, you lock the universe into this, okay? And while the universe is trying to respond with this, you have all these other possibilities out there. So ask the universe open-ended questions and follow the energy. So Joy Boy Forever, I would ask the universe, what can I do in this situation? What can be better than this? How can I correct this situation? What do I need to see about this situation that I can improve it? But see, if you Vago, so the thing is, it's your life is being run by everybody else's point of views. Your points of views keep you stuck in man's reality. You want to tap into the creativity and expansiveness of the universal reality. And one of the things is, yes, forgiving means I am no longer willing to carry the burden of all this pain and everything that I am carrying, you know. The parent issue is a big one for all of us, hon. So, Vago, you weren't here earlier when I was talking about who does it belong to? Okay, so this is an awesome tool, okay? When you are worrying about something or you have something that's in your mind repetitively, okay, you want to ask, who does this belong to? Okay? Does it belong to somebody else? If you get the impression, immediate impression, you want your first impression, okay? Don't overthink it. First impression immediately, okay? If it's not yours, send it back with love and consciousness. Is it something else? If it's something else, send it through the violet flame to be turned into something healing and send it to the earth. If it's yours, ask what percentage of it is yours and send the rest back to whoever it came from with love and consciousness. Because about 80% of everything we think is not even ours. And if you have any kind of issue, you're going to draw more thoughts from other people of that same issue. And you can't deal with your own stuff until you get rid of everybody else's. The first thing you can do to heal yourself is don't judge yourself. Okay? Robin and I are going to be doing a class on this. It's based on the Dark Side of the Light Chasers book. I don't think it's okay, honey. We are here to create. We are here to expand. We are, Daddy, we are all powerful beings that came to experience this reality of limitation. And the spell work is not bad if you're asking for money. We are abundant creatures. It's okay to ask for it. You're asking for yourself. You're not doing anything to harm anybody else or their free will. It's all your intent. You know, so okay, here's another one. So everywhere we have the point of view that money is the root of all evil. Will you destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion and everything attached to that? Yes or no? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So everywhere you believe that money does not grow on trees, will you destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion and everything attached to that? Yes or no? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And it's funny because I told my son that one time. He was probably about 8. At 8, he gave me so much wisdom. I said, money does not grow on trees. And he thought about it for a minute and he goes, yeah, it does. It's made out of paper. But see, that all comes out of the church. But if religion thinks that money is so evil, why do they want you to tie your money to them? Yes, evil is the root of evil. It's the point of view of the person that is evil. Money is not any different than bartering. It's just something that was created to barter with. Okay, so I went to a class one time, and so the class is, if money was your lover, what would you tell it? Tell me the first things that popped into your head when I said that. Nobody's going to answer that one. If money was your lover, what would you tell it? And it was very interesting, some of the reactions that the women had. One of them said, "Ooh, don't touch me. You're dirty." Exactly. And they were all spouting out all this negative stuff about money. And if you have that attitude, oh, you're so funny, Robin. If you have an attitude that money is dirty, ooh, stay away or whatever, that's what you're projecting out to the universe for money, you know? So pay attention to your attitudes toward money. It's like, oh baby, come here, give me some more. Honey, if you can't, we're a sad lot if we can't have fun with spirituality. We're infinite beings that came into experience limitation because we were bored. We could create anything we wanted. So everywhere you believe that you have to work hard for your money, will you destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion and everything attached to that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. The clearing statements help. The hand technique helps. Getting your bars ran helps. Reiki helps. There's so many different modalities out there, and people say, well, no, stuff doesn't work. And I tell them, well, how can you limit what God can do in your life? because it was all here for thousands of years before Western medicine, See, Robin, that's exactly why I'm saying when you ask, who does it belong to? What's the first thought that pops into your head? Sometimes the thoughts come before the feelings. And the first thought that you have is the true thought. Because then after that first impression, then you're going to let the ego get involved. I think what the thing is, we need to focus on the gratitude in the now. Ask the universe for it once, and then thank the universe for it as if you already have it. Also, get rid of the words, because this is one of the classes I'm going to do, the power of the spoken word. Get rid of the words want, because that actually means you're lacking, okay? And you want to get rid of the words could and should. Okay, so Vega, you brought up something. This is one of the things that Robin and I are going to be doing a class on, is this is a world of duality. We have right, wrong, good, bad, black, white, male, female, yes, no. We have light, shadow, okay? So one of the things that we're all doing is when somebody criticizes us, okay, or we don't like something about ourselves, we take that part and we push it away, okay? You're fracturing your soul when you do that. So what you want to do is take the time to sit down and talk to the shadow part in order to find out what it's trying to teach you, because it's all part of you. It's all part of your wholeness. That negative, that shadow side is there to teach you something. And this, okay, I'm sure she's going to end up listening to this, but I don't care. One of the people that on the camping trip this weekend, nothing is good enough. She lives here in America. She can't afford to live here because she's on disability. Nothing American is good enough. She wants to live in Europe. Everything from Europe or overseas is good. Anything here in American is bad. And she's negative about everything. I'll be driving down the road and she makes a comment about the way a house is or something like that. Why can't you just sit there and enjoy the nature that's out here? Why are you worried about where this house is or what it's doing or how it's built or anything, unless you're going to buy it, Why are you focusing on the negative stuff rather than enjoying the beauty and nature that's here? Why are you going to focus on the negative stuff instead of enjoying what's here? And we can retrain the brain to think different, yes. But clearing out those points of view from other people. But see, if we're not affected in the first place, Vago, then we don't have any lessons to learn. So ask the universe questions. What else is possible here? What's good about the situation I'm not seeing? What do I need to learn from this situation? How can this be better than this? And those are just a few questions. Keep asking the universe questions. So one of the things, you're right, Robin, we haven't been taught automatic acceptance. So, and we do overthink everything. But see, the thing is, if somebody offers little lessons to learning to accept, because if you cannot accept, the universe cannot give to you. Okay? So, I should drop my friend off the airport. Yeah, I should. So, if you're not open to receiving, the universe cannot give to you. So you want to take little steps. If somebody offers to take your groceries, say yes. Okay, Tatty. Okay, let me finish this thought. Okay, so anything anybody offers to do for you for the next 30 days, accept. These are little lessons in learning to receive, okay? And see, that's one of the things, Vago, is this reality. Man's reality keeps us so busy we do not have time to still that mind. I keep telling people, if you can learn to slow down your mind for 10 minutes a day and just listen, it'll change your whole life. And see, I live in a little remote town, okay? And it's so green and it's so beautiful out here. And the little next town over is all trees and it's like forest and everything. And it's like, okay, everything is nature here. There's deer out here. There's fox. There's crows. There's ravens. There's roosters. You know, I'm in nature. I'm in a small town, and it's like I need to be here. And part of that is being an empath, but I connect so much with nature. And this goes back again to the first thing for controlling your mind is ask again, who does it belong to? Okay, I had somebody that was insistent that everything that he was going through was in his own head. I kept asking him, who does it belong to? Who does it belong to? Okay, so finally I thought, okay, what percentage of it is yours? He said, 20%. I said, see, send back the rest to whoever it came from. Everything lightened up. That anxiety and depression lightened up dramatically, hon. Because you're carrying if you have even a little bit of your own anxiety and depression, then you're going to be drawing in everybody else's too and working through all their stuff. I'm telling you, if you start getting rid of people's stuff, then it's going to be easier to deal with your own stuff. If my friend ever calls me again, she's an ex-friend now. Okay, if you look at my Facebook, the Casey Spiritual Corner, there's one on there that posted that said this new moon, full moon eclipse was bringing out the true colors of people. Their true colors, their true intentions, whatever they had, their agenda is, okay? That happened to two people in my life that I hang around with a lot. They showed their true colors this weekend. Of course, my youngest daughter laughed. She goes, years and years ago, Mom, you told me, you ever want to know who somebody is? Take them camping. And they showed their true colors this weekend. So, but that was funny because that's what this full moon was about, you know? So it's like, that's so funny. Daddy, I want you to meditate on what you're anxious about. You could put it into the ball, anything you're anxious about, okay? And neutralize it there. But see, that's the shadow side. It's there, it's teaching you something. Everything that we have, the anxiety is and the depression are actually there to teach you. So you want to go in and ask, what are you trying to teach me right now? I love camping. I love nature. You know, it was so funny because a few years ago we went to my kids and I. We jumped in the car and we went up through Wyoming to Yellowstone and across Montana and Idaho and over to the West Coast and came down the West Coast and stuff. And when we got up to Washington and Oregon, I realized I always thought it was the mountains that I was attracted to. It's the forests. So what other questions do you guys have? Exactly. somebody told a story about how when they were little, they were all excited about something and their mother misunderstood their excitement and said, "Oh, honey, I'm sorry that you're scared." And so sometimes people see excitement as anxiety. Yes, instead of focusing on worrying about tomorrow, yes, you can ask anything, Isabella. That's what we're here for. We're asking, we're sharing, we're all learning and teaching. So, Taddy, if it's hard to still your mind, I've been going to try to do the mindfulness, but, sometimes, like when I was camping, I'm in that state where you're between awake and sleep, and I was getting messages in. So it's okay. Ask the universe to be in a constant state of meditation, but you've got to learn to protect yourself first. Exactly, Vago. But then again, you got to look how much of that unresolved pain and resentment is even yours. Okay. Okay. So we are going to go into protection. Her and I have been talking about this all day. Okay. So what I was taught this 45 years ago by a woman that her name was Yvonne Chardello. She was our teacher. She said she was a walk-in. Okay. She taught us meditation, all kinds of spirituality, all kinds of classes and everything. Everything. She's the only one that's been 100% accurate on everything that I've ever learned. Okay. So she taught me, okay, now remember that just because Christianity came along does not mean that Judaism or other religions are not valid. Okay, so in Judaism they believe in the Christ consciousness. Okay, and that's why they don't believe in that Jesus was the Messiah, because the Christ is a consciousness. It's not a person. So you were going to ask for the white Christ light of protection and visualize it like an egg shape around you, okay? Infinite miles above, infinite miles below, infinite miles around and through, inside and out, okay? And then outside of that, I asked for Archangel Michael's blue flame to surround that. And then I asked for the universal golden honey colored light to surround all of that. Okay. Now, one of my friends told me she had an awesome one that works really well for her. She visualized this long golden chain, and it comes in through the solar plexus, goes down into the earth through one leg, wraps around to the center of the earth, and comes back out through the other leg, goes up into the heavens, and comes back down, and then it attaches together right here in the solar plexus. Yes, but you could also ask for it to be infinite. It's funny how we limit ourselves. It is a protective statement, but you visualize it. At least, well, some people, not everybody's visual. So I used to say 1,000 miles above, 1,000 miles below, 1,000 miles around through, inside and out. And my son was 8. I'm telling you, at 8 years old, he was so wise. He told me, he says, "Mom, why do you say 1,000 miles? How come you don't say infinite?" And I said, "Out of the mouths of babes, how am I limiting myself?" We don't see that until somebody points it out. He was very wise at 8 years old. And then for grounding, I'm going to do individual videos on these also and put them up here. But for grounding, what I do, okay, is I visualize from here down, my body is a tree trunk, and my roots grow down and wrap around the center of the earth. Some of my friends, they visualize their spine as a crystal anchoring down into the earth, that they have crystals through their feet. There's so many different ways to ground. I see when I'm working on meditation, I see lots of purple and blue. And I don't use a mantra or visualization. I just relax into it. Now when I go into the Akashic records, I say a prayer, and then I visualize going up the layers and everything and coming out of the elevator. That's awesome, Isabella. Even walking on the ground in the grass, is grounding. Sticking your finger in a plant is grounding. And yes, Isabella, post your question. That's what we're here for. That's funny, Isabella, because I paint. and so when I paint, I am in a form of meditation. And Isabella, there's no such thing as a dumb question. What's dumb is not asking the question, and you don't know if you don't ask. Like I said, when I got into the Akashic records, the energy was very, very soft and warm and loving. And I said, wow, I'm somewhere else. And they said, indeed you are. And I said, wow. That was an awesome experience the first time. Because you always wonder, am I doing it? Am I doing it? What the heck? And when you relax into something, I'm going to tell you something that I will probably never be able to do this again because of expectations. So everywhere we have expectations of ourselves, well, you destroy and uncreate all that and everything attached to that. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9 sorts of boys and beyonds. So I walked in, they had 36 cards laid out on a table at one of the metaphysical fairs, probably about 10 years ago. And you had to play the match game. I matched up every one of those cards without one mistake because I was relaxed and I had no expectation. I will probably never be able to do that again because there would be that expectation in there. And those are things that I need to let go of. But what, hon? Okay, some people, Taddy, some people visualize, some people feel, some people hear. But it's like a great big huge library, and you could ask for your records and you'd be led into a certain area if you visualize, and they will give you the book and the book will open up for you. You're waiting for a sign. You know, one of the things, Isabella, is um, I'm trying to think of how to word it. When you are vulnerable, when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we experience great love. Whether we end up hurt or whatever, it's the experience. Uh, it shifts everything when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable. So it was kind of interesting because if you visualize lowering all your barriers and being vulnerable, it shifts the energy on how people perceive you. When is the right time to open up your heart, though? But that's we we one of the things is you have to realize that if you don't want to live with what if. Does that make sense? If you don't open up to it, you will never know. Yes, you can explain. Yes, truth. We're all here to support you, hun, not to judge you. So don't worry about what you're thinking or how to say it. My phone's going to go dead. Yes, we got you, honey. We are part of your tribe. Is it this life or another life? Okay. Okay, so I read constantly. I am constantly learning, and I read the book is by Gary Sinclair. He teaches 7 techniques for clearing things. And I read the first 3. I don't even remember the first 2, but I picked up the ones where, okay, if you have this memory, okay, you want to find that little ball in between your hands, okay? Then you're going to put that memory, if it's uncomfortable, you're going to put it in the middle of that little ball, and then you're going to keep bringing your hands back and forth. It will neutralize the charge on that memory so that it doesn't affect you anymore. You can do this with relationships too. That's one way. You know, if you want to learn the other ways too, you could look at Gary Sinclair's book. It's like healing emotions in seconds or minutes or something like that. But it's by Gary Sinclair. And we're all different, so we're all going to respond to different healing modalities. Am I lagging? There it is. Girl, I never gave much thought about twin flames until I met this guy. twin flames are supposed to come in and bring about healing and stuff. And I think mine came in now that I look at it now. He came in and I panicked and he left and he came back for a little bit and then he panicked, and it's like everybody keeps saying he's coming back, but we'll see. But they're there to teach. We're here to bring about healing and teach things to each other. It's I kind of wish he wasn't my twin flame because it's a hard path to be on. They kind of come in and out of your life. Yeah. Sometimes we're not meant to be together. Sometimes they're here, and some other times they are here. So, he came in, girl, 3 years ago. Okay, I met him on July 23rd. So it'll be almost 3 years. This man came in and changed my whole life. I was so shy. He came in and changed my life. Girl, if you would have told me 3 years ago that I was going to be doing tarot readings on Facebook and YouTube, I would have thought you were absolutely nuts. I just stayed home and just read books and studied all the time. But then how do you change the world if you don't? I started getting frustrated because, like I said, nobody teaches the basis anymore. Yeah, isn't that funny? But see, I've always done tarot, but I've never done it for me to put myself on YouTube and Facebook. Girl, I would have been horrified. I was so shy. I could never have done it 3 years ago. I see stuff in my teeth that is bugging me. But and it's funny because we were talking about with him, I don't know. See, that's the thing. But he taught me major lessons. He made me face my fears. Okay. That was huge. Otherwise I probably would have been an introvert, a hermit the rest of my life, And what's funny though is after I cut the cords with all the Riveras and got rid of that curse, okay, then he came to me 2 nights later. Well, let's see. I cleared that on a Sunday. On Monday night, he came to me in a dream and told me that he was coming back. He just had to finish those things. So then there's Hear Me, and it's like everybody kept telling me he's coming back by June, except for a couple people. They said September. And I'm getting all upset and depressed and everything. And I kind of got a message like, are you really being fair to him by trying to push the issue and not letting him go through the healing that he needs to go through before he comes back? And I felt a little bit ashamed of myself. Yes, there is a significant age difference. He's 15 years younger than me. So, of course, second husband was 15 years younger than me, too. Exactly. It's like I had no. I let down my barriers big time with this guy. I said, if I don't experience this, then then I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. So we'll see. My first husband was 10 years older, and my second one was, well, actually, he was 13 years younger than me. And then this guy's 15 years younger than me. And it's so funny because I have this astrologer that I'm working with. He's looking at my chart and he tells me, I want to be your first student. And I said, wow, I'm going to be teaching classes. And he goes, yeah. He says, I actually think that you're going to be doing a book by the end of the year. So he messages me the other day and he goes, oh, is he back? And I said, what? What guy? You didn't tell me nothing about a guy. And he kind of laughs. He goes, yeah, this guy's supposed to be coming back from the past. He says, you guys have a very strong connection. But the thing is, I know who this guy is. He's very stubborn, very, very stubborn. And he's a Capricorn, and he's a hard worker, and you can't change his mind. He's got to have everything structured in a certain way or it's not going to work. And he's got to have everything all lined up in his mind to where he wants it before he will move. And it's like, this man's like the wounded warrior in the tarot. And it's like, I don't know if he'll ever be ready for a relationship. And I don't know if I want to wait that long. I'm a Libra. Sun, moon, rising, Neptune, what else? And something else. Girl, it's yeah. Being a Libra is not easy. And then having that much stuff in Libra, I think in a lot of ways I'm a lot more balanced than a normal Libra. Sun, moon, rising, Neptune, and one other. There's 5 planets all in Libra. So it's like, okay, and somebody, and I said one time, I said, my 2 daughters are Capricorns. So it's I said, yeah, what did I do to deserve Capricorn daughters? And they said, go look at your chart and see if your Mars is in Capricorn. So I went and looked at my chart, and sure enough, Mars was in Capricorn. They said, you have something to learn from Capricorns. And then this guy is a Capricorn. And it's like, oh my gosh. But see, I live in my head. I live from here up in the spiritual world and not the physical stuff, And he's very grounded, very earthy, and I'm very much up there. We could learn a lot from each other if we ever get it together. And what happened, Vago? That's crazy. Okay. It comes down to points of view. Do you believe in it? Do you believe it could work? But see, that's if you believe it, then it's going to work. But see, that's still manipulation of energy. And there are dark forces out there. I swear, when I was 16 years old, okay, so my first husband and I started going out at 16, and his sister did dark arts. I woke up in the middle of the night one night, and I swear that if I would have turned around, I would have saw the devil standing in my room. The energy of evil was so bad. I was so scared. I was terrified. I couldn't move. I just pulled the covers over my head and slept all night. I have had somebody come in and grab my arm in the middle of the night. That was scary. And when I was at my godmother's one time, she was telling me the story about she heard some spirits talking in the corner of her stairs saying, oh, okay, so yeah, she heard him talking in the corner. They're saying, well, here she is. Do we want to knock her down the stairs and take her? But they had walked in and jumped on her daughter and was holding her down in the middle of the night. There are dark forces out there. Again, you want that white Christ light of protection. Now, see, this is interesting because when I was 16, I was getting ready. No, I was 18. I was getting ready to fly to Arizona the next day to go spend a week with my first husband. And I'm working in the IBM building at nights. There's a room here. There's a room here. They're classrooms. There's a computer room here, and then there's like a projector room. So I'm down here, and I feel somebody watching me, and I turn around, and there's nobody there. Okay. So I told my boss, I swear I saw somebody, because the curtain into the projector room was even moving. He checked the stairwell and everything, and he came back out and told me there's nobody here. So I'm clear at the other side of the building, and I vacuum, and I feel somebody looking at me, and I turn around, and there's this 10-foot tall shadow. And I'm just looking at it. And then my boss came up in the elevator and went, psst. I didn't know what to think of that experience, but I kind of wonder. Okay, so when we bought our first house, we had shadows walking through it all the time too. But I kind of wonder if it wasn't me projecting back, warning me not to marry my first husband. So, we don't know. We don't know the power we have, the energy we have, I actually think that they were trying to protect me, keep me from. Well, I don't know anything about how they manipulate energy. I have kind of read a little bit on it lately about doing spells and stuff because I'm curious, because my ex had that spell on me. I've been single 19 years. He's had a spell on me since probably 1988, and I have had one marriage, but yeah. I don't do past life readings, but I do the Akashic records. I haven't done a lot of them, but it's interesting the things that do come out when I do get into them. And this is why I tell you not to give your power away to a reading. In 1988, when I was going through my divorce, I went for what they call a tree of life reading. Yeah, I do them. I went for a tree of life reading, and she tapped into the Akashic records. She kept telling me, okay, that I needed to be a nurse. There was concerns in this lifetime about my health. And Isabel will talk about that in a minute. There was concerns in the Akashic records that if I didn't become a nurse, that there was going to be concerns with my health. Well, I've been sick all my life, all my life. And I had got into alternative medicine. First I ran into a little gal, got me into nutrition. And then I picked up a book called The Way of Herbs, and that started shifting my health. And then I started going from doctor to doctor. They kept telling me it was all in my head, and they didn't understand why I had chronic bronchitis for 5 months every year, and they couldn't find anything wrong with me. Well, I'm 50 years old, and they finally diagnosed me with celiac. I don't have gluten intolerance. I have the celiac. This is why I've been sick all my life. And people used to tell me, oh, you exaggerate things. It's all in your head, and it's like I've had to clear that a lot. But, it shifted everything. So I'm going to do a little article on that. Pay attention to what people are telling you. If somebody's telling you that they're being abused or they don't feel good, listen to what they're saying. Okay? Pay attention. But it's and I'm wandering off on a whole nother subject. But, I don't know. I have seen spirit put things in my pathway. Oh, I was telling you about the Akashic record reading. She kept saying, okay, I had just learned Reiki. I had a good job with the phone company. I already had several years there. She kept telling me that I had to be a nurse. If I did not, yeah. Okay, so it's like I told her, I said, well, what about alternative medicine? She told me, be realistic, Kay. You can't make money on alternative medicine and Reiki, and this was her point of view. You have to get into nursing or you're not going to live very long, and this is like, okay, if I had no desire, no interest in being a nurse at all, but I was interested into the alternative stuff. I followed my intuition, my knowing, and stayed with the alternative stuff. And this is something shifted my health. If I would have gone with Western medicine, I probably would have been dead 30 years ago. Wow. See, this is one of the reasons, Vago, that I want to teach protection. I mean, you can look on YouTube and there's all kinds of means of protection. I'm just telling you the means of protection that I was taught that has worked for me. And there's another thing, the Bible talks about know thyself. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, I'm glad you haven't experienced that again too. Big time. But we don't learn this stuff. See, once you've experienced it, it changes everything. And see, when you worry about things, you draw it to you. So you need to let go of the worry. You need to let go of being scared of the dark things, or because I don't know how to explain. There's the light and the shadow in you that you have to know yourself. So this is what happened to me. This is why I was talking and emphasizing know thyself. So I was sitting here one day, I was kind of lax on my protection, and I wanted to kill myself. And it's like, okay, this is not me. Where's this energy coming from? Who does it belong to? And it was out here. I said, okay, this is not mine. Send it back to whoever it was. But what popped in my head is somebody was compelling me to kill myself. And it's like, okay, I sent it back. Send it back with love and enlightenment, because I don't want to retaliate in the same way. I don't want to be like what somebody else is doing. So, like I said, it moved away, and then I put my protection up. But this is one of the things that the Bible talks about is know thyself. This is why I emphasize asking, who does it belong to? I was sitting here depressed after I did the readings the other day. I was sitting here all depressed and everything, and I said, okay, who does this belong to? You could actually feel, when you send the energy back, you could actually feel the energy lighten up. But we need to know ourselves. If I didn't know who I was, if I didn't know that I have a lot to live for, that I have a lot to offer somebody, how many people kill themselves because they're being compelled by somebody else or picking up somebody else's energy, and they don't know this stuff? How scary is that? How many people have killed themselves because they're picking up somebody else's energy? That terrified me. And it's like, I need to teach people this stuff. And Vago, thank you for contributing tonight too. Robin's been a great contributor, and she's going to be my partner in a lot of classes coming up, I think. So. And I think Robin probably needs to get bed, and I don't know where you're all at. I'm in Colorado. I have another book too that kind of corresponds with that too. I think we're going to try starting them next week, and we're going to be doing them on Zoom. So I will share the link on Zoom ahead of time. And I will share it on Facebook ahead of time too. And this is going to be our first time, so we're probably going to have a lot of mistakes. So I think Robin and I'll be good teaching partners. And Robin, I got to send you the name of the other book. It's something tapping into your warrior woman, and it kind of corresponds with the dark side of the light chasers. I ran across it on my Kindle this morning, was kind of reading it, and I said, oh, we need to incorporate this too. So yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get information out. And Robin's writing a book too, so anybody else have any more questions? We could wrap it up for tonight. And you guys can always message me. Patty and I have been talking all day. You're welcome, hon. I'm glad you brought it up because it's, I need to do this. I've been procrastinating, and it's so funny because somebody told me that I needed to get it up and running by the 17th, and I didn't even, just before I came on, I looked at the date and I said the 17th. I said, wow, that's funny. Universe encouraging. And thank you to Vago for your input too. Everybody's input, actually. Thank you. Hon, if we don't step out, okay, like I told somebody, she says, well, what you're going to be one of these people that are going to teach the law of attraction and charge a lot of money. And I said, for one thing, the law of attraction doesn't work because you push away the negativity. They teach you to only focus on the positive, but you have to incorporate all parts of yourself, And for another, we have I don't know, it's just, how can you change the world if somebody can't afford to take classes? I couldn't afford to take classes. I was raising kids on my own and didn't have money to take classes. I was blessed by many classes, many teachers, and it was just awesome, and this is my way of giving back. And they told me, says, oh, you're going to be one of these people that charge like $1,100 for a weekend class. And I said, no, I would rather charge, $200 for a whole weekend, or, just for an example, and people be able to afford to go to the class rather than having somebody pay $1,000 and 20 people come. I might have 500 people come at $200. I'm not expending any more energy and I'm reaching more people. How do you change the world? One person at a time. So, and Reiki's awesome. There's a thing on Facebook. It's called Udemy, Udemy. They have some classes that you can learn for $10.99. Sometimes they're $12.99. They have sales. But I would check that out because there's a lot of stuff on there for Reiki classes. It's not like Clearback when they first started it was $20,000 a person. And then by the time I got to it, a guy from England came down. That was probably in 1988. And he took us through all three levels for $200 each. So, I'm a Reiki master, but I have more resonance with the bars and therapeutic touch than I do the Reiki. It all works. Different modalities work on different people, So, we're all different. We're all going to respond in different ways. So it's good to know different modalities and stuff. So, but check out that Udemy. There's lots of classes and stuff on there that teach you how to do all kinds of things. They have tarot classes and Reiki and energy. There's been a couple classes that I've been disappointed in, but there's some awesome stuff in there to learn. People are sharing, making it more affordable. Yeah. Okay, guys, if nobody else has any questions, I guess we'll wrap it up for tonight. And like I said, you guys can always message me questions. So, and I'll do the best I can. I need to start doing my. I think what I'm going to do is start doing the astrology readings for love and for general. I think I'm just going to do them at the first of the month, and then maybe we'll start doing chats every week instead of doing bi-weekly tarot reads. So, because I think the classes are probably more important than the tarot at this point. So, and I did get a new deck today. Ooh, this is the Tarot Grand Lux by Sierra Marchetti. It just came out. They're brand new. And I got to play with them. These are really, really, really pretty cards. Look at this hangman. So it's yeah, look at the death card. Look at temperance. Ooh. I was starting to look at them earlier and then I said, I better do this live. So it's, yeah, and he kind of gives, he's gone along with the basic interpretations, but he's got a little book that he's added a couple of little things of explanations of why he did it like he did and stuff. So it's interesting. And, and if you look at those tarot cards, they all have a story. And somebody test them out. Okay, we'll pull one card for each of you. You're funny, Tati. Oh my, the three you pulled are signs for me. That was the death, the hangman, and the temperance. Okay, I'm going to shuffle them, and then we'll pull one card for everybody that's still here. Who else left? Tati, Robin, and who else is here? Yeah, because I like to play with them a little bit. My favorites are the Gilded Tarot because they really tell a story. And somebody asked me, they said, can you do videos on each one of the cards and tell me how you come up with your explanations? And it's like, it's a combination of life and what the meanings of the animals are and the symbols and stuff. How can I explain about that? So I have three people online. I have Tati, Robin, and who else is here? Who else do I need to pull a card for? Contemplation. Yes. And this contemplation is probably going to go on all summer. It may not be till September that he makes a decision. So my guy, like I said, the astrologer's laughing. He goes, well, if he hasn't come back yet, he says he should be back by September. And if he isn't, there's another guy. He says, because the universe doesn't mean for you to be alone. And I said, okay, finally. I've been alone for 20 years. And yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to wait. I want, okay, my first two marriages I settled. I went from the frying pan into the fire. Okay. Wait, I'm going to shuffle them a little more or do this different. They're all lined up still. Okay, this one's for Tati. Wheel of Fortune. Okay, Robins. There's three people here. Who else is here? It's going to drive me nuts. So I could pull a card for you too. Okay. Robin, we have the Six of Swords. That's moving ahead, honey. Moving past all the troubles into smoother waters. And you have you're bringing others with you on your journey. Look at this. Okay, so I'm going to see what else his explanation is. But that's moving out of troubled waters. And maybe even taking a trip. Maybe you're going to come and see me anyway, hon. I know Rebecca wants to take a trip down to see you. Okay. Troubled waters on one side and calmer on the other. He chose to show the scene with the boat coming toward us. This allows us to see the characters, including the smaller of the two passengers. That's why I said you're bringing somebody with you, okay? They're not necessarily in the clear yet. Swords rising from the water surface symbolizes that further obstacles may await and will also have to be carefully navigated. And the Wheel of Fortune says, so it borrows some things from the traditional one. Talks about fate and fortune, of our own influences and choices. But a lot of things are determined by circumstance. The hare is an indication of things have come. I will rule. The lion, the present, I am ruling. The monkey, okay, the monkey is a mocking realization of the temporal nature of our previous state. I did rule. And finally, the abstract, empty, fourth, non-state. I have no rule. But yeah, definitely fated things coming up. Yeah. Okay. See, that the trouble with healing, you know, there's healing of the body and there's healing spiritually, you know? So it's interesting when they talk about healing. There's healing and curing. It's kind of funny. We all met on one group that seems to be falling apart. Raise Your Vibe, and we're all moving forward. And he did. We did raise our vibe on that group, and we're all kind of branching out, doing our own thing now. You know, it's been very, very healing. But sometimes it's moved on. Okay, so he's got the Two of Swords. He has to choose it. He has to get out of his head and quit thinking about it. He needs to start focusing on that he is healed. Okay, does that make sense? What else does it say here? It says his rendition of the card is not the usual crossing of the swords, but certainly illustrates a duality, a balancing and influential of two alternative or complementary aspects. See, and that's what I was going to say. Maybe he needs to check into some alternative stuff and complementary medicine to be considered from various aspects and senses, as by vision alone the circumstances are veiled and unlimited. But see, for me, the Two of Swords is should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? You know? Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I go with the alternative? Should I stay with the traditional? Why can't you do both? Why do you have to limit yourself? Does that make sense? Okay, there's two other people on here. Would you guys like me to pull a card for you too before we close for the night? Let me know. Brand new deck. First time I've paid it. I haven't had a chance to look through them yet. You're welcome, hon. Yeah. Come out from wherever you are. Okay, well, I guess I don't want a card. So I guess it's been almost 2 hours, so we'll let you guys go. I know Robin's got to get to bed. You could always share this video with him too. Yeah, somebody's dropped off, but there's still one other one. Okay, guys. Well, I guess they don't want to talk. They don't want a card. Oh, good. Yay! Robin's got a day off. And see, Robin's dealing with some stuff too. We all are. We all are. And I guess my biggest fear is, I don't know. So Vago, you're still here. Okay. Okay, see? All you guys had to do is come out of the woodwork here. Yes, you can have a card, Naomi. And Vago will pull one for you too. I'll pull a card for both of you. Okay. Naomi, I got the Wheel of Fortune, and Vago, you got the Seven of Wands. You're very defensive. Okay, so this is something fated. This is something meant to be. This is a shift in your in everything that's going on around you. Okay, you always get that card. Take advantage of it, hun. You know, work toward the change. And Vago, we have the Seven of Wands. That's being defensive. That's okay. It's okay. So to me, this is also being overwhelmed. It's not just being defensive. It's being overwhelmed. You've got all these things flying at you, pointing at you. You need to take the time to write down some things and prioritize things. Does that make sense? Seven of Wands. What does he say? A struggle for dominance. You're fighting off competitors and enemies, defending what you have achieved thus far and consider to be yours. But you have not yet solidified your position, which is still clearly being challenged. But to me, that's also, you know, you've got so many things coming at you that you don't know which direction to go. So prioritize things too. Does that make sense? I'm going to pull one for me. We might as well make this a whole 2 hours here. It's been an hour and 57 minutes. Okay, one card for me. Sounds like all of us, exactly. Oh, three of swords. Heartbreak, indecision, quarrels, disputes. Isn't that what I went through this weekend? Okay. It says, Three of Swords may work in a strictly symbolic way, the more by recognition and learned association than by portraying any actual emotion. The pose of the figure I have used is based on a Victorian statue called the Grieving Angel, which has often been used as a cemetery tomb headstone. I feel that this pose poignantly portrays the essence of the card's meaning, namely loss, pain, and heartache. Yeah, kind of going that over my guy, but then, you know, I'm really, really sad that I lost 2 friends. Yeah, my weekend energy. It's like, for one thing, how in the hell did they undermine it? Yeah. So it's like, you know, even I forget my teachings. I'm not infallible. I'm just as vulnerable as you guys are. See, this is what we were talking about with healing with the healers, you know. Heal thyself, physician. So we'll see. I do feel it was kind of funny because one of my friends watched my reading yesterday and she says, "Gosh, your shoulders are getting so small." And I said, "That's kind of funny. It seemed to happen over the weekend. I quit carrying somebody else's burdens, I guess." So, okay, guys, it was good talking to everybody. I love the interaction. I love the questions. You know, like I said, how do we change things if we don't communicate and talk and share and teach? So everybody have a good night. You're welcome, hon. Like I said, you guys can message me with questions. So cool. Have a good one. 15 more seconds. We'll make it a total 2 hours. I'm crazy. That's funny. And share it, Robin, you can share this if you want. You guys can all share this. So there it is. Have a good one.